Prindex. So we started in 2012. At the time, our sister company, Blue Line Urban Projects, was about 5 years old. We identified a gap in the real estate markets, which was that there weren't enough, innovatively designed and well-built residential apartments. So Prindex was formed with the aim of conceiving real estate development projects, finding funding to build those projects, and then also marketing and selling it. While Blue Line Urban Projects, which is our sister company, was there to execute. So far it's been a good journey.
A lot of the build is done by our sister company, Blue Line Urban Projects, which has 18 years experience in the industry. Unlike other developers out there, our projects are design centered. From the design, you execute. And based on the 18 years experience that Blue Line Urban Projects has, we've been able to put in some systems that guarantees that. So we have a unique project management department, and their job essentially is to ensure that quality standards are maintained throughout the course of the project, from the day we move to the site to the day we hand over. So as simple as the way we hand over projects, I'll take as a most simple example, we actually tag our keys. Tag keys, so an owner gets 2 sets of keys. He gets one bunch that has master key to every room and the front door key, and he gets a tagged spare. So if we would handle the keys at that level of detail, it just shows how we'll handle the rest of the project.
My belief is that you invest in people. You don't really invest in their projects. The individuals behind the project is far more important than the project itself. So if you learn and understand and trust the people, then you can work with them on their projects. Projects are just one idea. And as long as you know that they're honest people who are open and have integrity, that's what attracted me to Prindex in the first place, just knowing the people.
The company's ethos are 4: people, projects, profits, and peace of mind. It's important to note that the way we set up our operations, right from strategy level to operations to result, our people are always very key to us. Members of staff, stakeholders, investors. We always give people, a very high level of priority in terms of welfare, in terms of paying attention to details. The end users of our products are people. The people that live in these apartments are residents, young guys, young folks. Attention to detail for people is very essential in how we carry out our operations. In terms of profits, we need to pay attention to the numbers because we utilize investors' funds to develop our projects, and we must report, in terms of utilization and how those funds are performing. Projects, we are a projectized organization. Projects are the end result of what we do. So you would realize that almost everybody within the Prindex team has some level of project management certification. And then, of course, lastly, peace of mind. I think that the highest level of profits that we can imagine as management is the peace of mind that comes in living in our residences, right? As I said, end users, how the end users feel is very important to us when they are staying in our apartments. And of course, another aspect of peace of mind is when investors give us money, we want them, to have that peace of mind, knowing that their monies will be utilized, in the most efficient way possible and deliver the highest number of returns.
Sustainability and green buildings is not a recent fad, but it's catching on more in our own economy. For now, the key area we're trying to do, we are focusing on is power. Power is a big problem, as we all know, in the country, and there are different aspects to that power. There's the power infrastructure, and there's the power that is used in the building. What we've tried to throw in is this: because power is a problem, in most developments, you have grid power, you have backup as generators. What we've tried to throw in is solar panels and inverters. However, the market cannot sustain that from the developer's side. So the in-between we've tried to do is as simple as we pre-wire every flat for solar panels and inverters. So what that does is that the tenants don't have to come and break, or you see wires running all over the place. or an owner doesn't have to do that. The pathway is cleared, and we also mark out the roof so everybody knows where his solar panels can be and what area for solar panels that they can have.
It's kind of mixed, right? Quality construction goes without saying with Prindex. They deliver quality. I've enjoyed remarkable returns with them. I've done this project here is the third project I've invested in with them. I think for me, it's always been about communication. They're very open. You know where you stand, you know the challenges, you know how far they've gone. As an investor, what you want more than anything is to invest with someone who keeps you abreast of goings on. So you know exactly what the situation is with your investment at any point in time with them. They're very open communicators, and it's one of their key, for me, it's one of the key things I love about working with them. And also the way they choose their projects. They choose their projects very carefully. Sometimes I think maybe they overanalyze, but my favorite thing about them is the communication.
Okay, so first off, our mission is to deliver, sustainable real estate investment returns through, superb product knowledge and execution. That's the mission of Prindex. Now, how do we make sure that the projects we deliver are aligned to that mission? First off, it's important to note that whatever location we choose for our developments has to be such that it brings optimal value. So going into the next phase of our business cycle, 2025 to 2030, our catchment areas for new projects are Oniru, VI, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and Lekki Phase 1, right? Because we've identified from research that these areas give us optimal returns, both for us as a company and for our investment partners. Another important thing is the technical team behind the execution of those projects. Without a good technical team, your concept is flawed. Regardless of how fantastic your concept is, regardless of how you think that concept solves the market problem, if we don't have a good technical team on ground to execute to the T, then there will be an issue with how the market may receive that project.
Quality is such an overused word in so many ways, and it's also subjective. Now, one of our core values is indirect part of our core values to retain profit for our stakeholders. In every process of build, there's always a cheaper way. We don't do the cheaper way. We always try to be as practical as possible, but to try and retain the value in the building. So how this reflects to experienced real estate investors or the stories you hear out there is that you've seen lots of stories of someone buying a house and the house is falling apart after a short while. Basically, there's a cosmetic level to the finishing that is done. Now, we won't go that path. It shows in the current building you're probably seeing or any project you've seen.
Out of adversity grows wisdom and sense. So because they've had this challenge with this particular project, I think they've learned many lessons, and clearly they would apply those learnings to future projects, and they've learned how to manage costs significantly, how to bring down costs to the barest minimum without compromising quality. So I think those things will bring a lot more growth to them, will bring a lot more profitability, and can only do better for their future.
Well, I think generally because we're architects and innovators in the first instance, most of our projects always stand out wherever we come to. If you look on Duruosimi Etti, I don't think that you would drive past without looking up to see this new development we have here, right? I think in addition to the innovation we bring about in terms of design, another very critical point to note is that we get a lot of feedback from the market via our residents in our projects and our investors and our subscribers. We have, as a matter of policy, we have sessions in-house where we discuss the lessons we've learned from one project to the next. I can tell you today that we've successfully completed about, say, 6 projects, giving our portfolio a total number of close to 100 units of apartments that has been built, sold, and currently being managed. So imagine all the lessons we've taken from all those experiences, and we're now putting it together in such a way that it informs the next level of projects that we're going to be involved with. Without a doubt, I'm confident that the market would see responses in how we've progressed from one project to the next. Watch out, because we'll have a new project starting in Ikoyi in 2026, and then there's another one starting up here in Lekki Phase 1 in 2026 as well. Over the years, we've built competencies, around, innovatively designed projects, and also apartments that yield, good returns for, subscribers and investors.